Okay, I guess we're up and running. Let's see what YouTube is doing. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I wonder if I can watch this on the phone, if it'll let me do that. I'll get my glove on here, and then all I'm doing is outlining this. I thought it'd be interesting to see. So StreamYard's got a little expensive for my taste. I know they're adding features, so I went for a Streamlabs account, and not that it's super complicated, but if you're one person trying to do something while you're streaming, it can be. Getting guests in seemed like a little bit of a hassle. So I decided to try Rumble Studio here to see what it is capable of. And anyways, I got a lot to do today. Realistically, I shouldn't even be bothering with a live stream, but channels need content. So here we go. I'm just mixing up some black. I'm just going to outline this. I leafed it last night, and what it is a box. Yeah, I gotta stop this, delete this, start it over again. New movie recording. Okay, so looks like so I'm recording on a QuickTime player at the same time, so that I can knit what I did last night together with what I'm doing right now. Get some thinner in here. Some low temp thinner. And the black, I'm using a Virus 2 for an outliner. It's old but good. So I had pinheads, not a pinhead. I was at a car show last weekend around a bunch of other pinstripe artists and custom painters and stuff, and it's always very inspiring. Makes you want to do awesome new work. So this has been gilded. It's got some rough areas, and then it's been cleared with a hardened enamel clear, so that I can rest my hands on it and not mess with it too much. And all I'm doing is putting an outline around it, kind of clean up some of these rough edges. I don't even know if you guys can see that. So the wife and I are taking a trip. We're going to see a band, this big wreck out of Toronto, and they come into Buffalo, and that's where I grew up. So it's nice to go up there and for the day, I'm gonna hit an old comic book shop I used to go to early in the morning, check in and hit the VIP and get this signed. So this is a black catalyzed one shot. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my wife is on the phone with the vet. It was a nice day out yesterday, so when I came home, I opened some windows, and when everybody went to bed, we didn't close them, and apparently whatever drugs the dog is getting, so that it'll act in a somewhat normal fashion. Is turning him into an absolute. It rained, so naturally the dog went ape. I was not privy to any of this, so I'm just hearing about it for the first time. So naturally the thought is, oh my God, the new drugs are causing the dog to be calm and normal in every other situation. But apparently, if there's lightning and thunder, it all of a sudden loses his crap, which I don't believe is unusual. But anything that disturbs the, I don't know, whatever. All right. See, well, this is one of the problems I have with streaming with my computer way over on the other side of the room. I can see that someone's chatting, but I can't see what they're chatting. So let me get on the phone here. Go to this here live.
Okay.
That's not it. Damn. Come on, dude. Figure this shit out. Where's my channel? God, it's like I've never worked this damn thing before, for fuck's sake. There we go. Jeez. Squaw Bob. Yeah, that is aluminum leaf on the inside, 24 karat gold leaf on the outside. Squaw Bob, one of my most faithful payers of attention. Is a little bit more difficult than usual. You're just doing one color gold, and it's not crossing over anything like this is. So regular gold tends to stick to stuff a lot more readily than just the glue. The next time I try to stream, I'm going to try to do it like right there on the computer so that I can see what Rumble Studio does when you're trying to invite people in. So far, it looks like it's doing its job. A little tricky at first. They put some important features out of the way. At least it seemed like that. Once you know where they are, come on. Yeah, this is like black on wood. I don't know if anybody can actually see what's happening here. There. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so let's get this line cleaned up. Yeah, the clear that's on there, it's a little soft, but dry enough. And the whole reason why you do that is because the gold is delicate, and as I was saying, it it sticks to places that you don't want it to stick, but you can get it off of there. Um, if you've got, I cleared very precisely over this, and so that I could wipe up whatever mess was left around the outside. Um, 24 karat gold will stick to oils from your hands that are left behind, and they have to be taken off with a mild, in this case, a mild wax and grease remover. But a mild wax and grease remover will also damage your exposed gold that you just laid down. So you put a clear coat over what you just did, so that while you're cleaning up the stuff that's sticking where you don't want it to, you don't damage the gold that you just put down. And that's the point of that. So I'm just working from the top left to the bottom right because I'm right-handed and I don't want to stick my hands in the wet outline. It seems as though the paint has calmed down a little bit. I mean, it was like thick and blotchy up here, and I feel like I've got a better handle on it, but I don't want to speak too soon. For instance, and it's a nice precise brush, but it's a synthetic. A synthetic holds up to the chemicals in these. Well, I don't know if it holds up any better or any worse, but regular hair has under a microscope, you can see it's got kind of a scaly texture to it. And that scaly texture, you might even be able to see a representation of this, like on the back of a shampoo bottle. It'll tell you how it's, causing your hair to be nice and smooth, and it'll show you this is what hair looks like. Synthetic brushes, the hairs in the brush are really smooth, and that causes the paint to want to slide off faster. So you have to be careful. It'll like develop a drip or a drop on the end of the brush that the paint wants to travel off the brush, and gravity becomes a factor. So it's something you gotta keep an eye on. Camera placement and light placement also vital. I don't want it to be in my eyes, and I don't want it to blind all you fine people either. So, anyways, if you guys want to see anybody that's out there checking out custom paint type stuff, go to idcrisisdesign.com and look at the tools I have for sale in the store, or the merch. I can't remember what I called it. You'll find the Spinster turning tool solution, which is where the circle effect on this gold is how you achieve that. And that'll be up whenever I'm done putting this video together. You'll see me using that. And the powder lines template, the clean, easy way to lay out your designs. Services for sale, services available, and upon request. I don't think I've got anything in the store, but commissions are open. And when I get back from this trip, two awesome things are going to happen. I'll be working on an old custom pickup, which after I'm done outlining this for tomorrow, I've got to go prepare for. And who knows, maybe that'll be another live stream. And we're going to be talking about getting out of this house. And I honestly can't decide which one of these two things I am looking forward to the most, because both of them are definitely going to happen. So Monday, truck rolls in. I'm going to get that thing taken care of as fast as possible. Here comes the dog with all of the mental issues. Hello, Bear. Bear doesn't like rain. He does not like thunderstorms. I'm wondering if that's what the vet told my wife. No, you don't need to adjust his medication. Dogs don't like thunderstorms. And she said he was seizing, or not seizing. He was shaking so hard, and she thought it was a seizure. So nervous dog. Like, I guess Chihuahua nervous, but he's not a Chihuahua. He's not a Chihuahua. Hmm. Come on. Incidentally, I don't know if this is going out to my Facebook page. It normally doesn't. It depends on how Rumble handles multi-streaming. I have it programmed or set, anyways, to go out to YouTube, X, Locals, and Facebook. Now, when I tried to put it out to my page, it said it couldn't do that. That was the last stream I did a couple of minutes ago, where I was getting boomer juice all over the place because I couldn't figure out how to get the camera to actually display. And actually, I wonder, now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't checked the Rumble side of things. It could be absolutely blank for all I know. How am I enjoying it? Blah, blah, blah. My videos. Oh my God, it's still going. How about that? Oh, okay, I see you. I see you, Squab. You're on Rumble. X. You know what? This thing, I swear, this phone does not actually know what I'm doing to it unless I'm holding it in my hands. I lay it down, I try to touch the screen, and it's like, no, no thanks. You have to hold me with two hands before I'll do anything. End of the year. New phone, end of the year. Got a refurbished iPhone, and they replaced the screen with a third party thing, and it's one of the most unintuitive. And the phone constantly tells you, this isn't an Apple. I know it's not. Now the variegated gold leaf around the outside is is pretty straight. I don't know that I want to outline that. I just want to clean up most of these edges. I might even put a drop shadow on it. I'm not sure. It really is like anything else. It just comes down to a self-imposed deadline. All right, let's go up here and work our way down. You guys see that? Can y'all see? I'm just trying to make sure my big head isn't in the shot. It's coming together. Yeah, so awesome thing about this show is the last time we saw them, and this is it's kind of rare um, that a band will come out of this band will come out of Canada. They'll visit some states, but they don't do okay. So they were broken up for a while, and they went under the name Thornley, or at least the creative force behind the band went under the name Thornley and had a different lineup. And then at some point, oops, one of the original members, who was unfortunately not with us anymore, um, they came back together under the name Big Wreck, which was the original. Come on, the original name. And while they were promoting, okay, let's see if I get this right, Albatross, which would have been technically album number 3, um, and Ghosts, album number 4, they actually came down and we got to see them in Pittsburgh. So it seemed like they were working really hard on promotion. And I could be wrong about this, but I think they went from label to independent. Um, there was a 20-year anniversary of their first album where they showed up in Pittsburgh, but by and large, if they do the States, it's nowhere near as much as when they're, I mean, they're from Canada, so what do you want? Um, so we saw them at the Thunderbird Cafe in Lawrence, which is like the hipster part of Pittsburgh, and ended up running into a buddy that I had not seen in like uh, 10 years, totally by accident. In fact, my wife just started talking to him while I was in the bathroom, and him and his wife. So now we're like, hey, they're going to Buffalo. You know, you're even closer to them than I am. You know, north part of Pennsylvania. Let's go together. So it's going to be awesome. I'm gonna get to see some old friends. Probably hog the VIP line a little bit because I know we're going to want a picture with everybody, not just the two of us. That's a little bit fat. That line's a little fatter than I'd like, but I'm not going to screw with it. Anyways, so what's the point of this box? Um, Normally, I have something already that I've painted to get signed by the band. This time around, I mean, I've been really busy, so I didn't have anything right there locked and loaded. I was just gonna bring a I was just gonna bring a CD or something. Because why make the effort and not bring something? But I was looking around. A buddy gave me this box. It was going to get used up at the last charity event that I was at, but so I brought it up there, and it was still blank. So I took it home with me. Anyways, I'm looking through like all the CDs and stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, some of them I haven't even opened. I'll listen to the music on Spotify. So I've got one that's still in the two of them really that are still in the plastic, and I come down and I'm looking through, looking, this just all the junk that I've accumulated over the years, panels and stuff like that to paint on. And I'm looking at this box. I'm like, because like where we had the CDs, we just kind of have them in like a wicker. Well, it's actually a box. It's it's made out of wicker, but it's got a lid and a clasp. And they're just in there because nobody really displays their CDs or anything like that. I gotta get rid of that line. And I'm looking at some of the other paraphernalia we have. VIP passes from the past, tickets, and I'm looking at this box. And I'm like, we can put all that stuff in here. Because those little wicker baskets are kind of it's like dust and stuff in there, and it's just a place where you put things. It's like a fancy junk drawer, really. And they're just like on display in the family room. So I was like, well, we can put them in here. We come back from another show someday. They come out with another CD. A lot of times there will be a pre-order, and those ones come to you. They arrive with signatures, and there's special edition stuff, and and at the risk of sounding psycho or anything like that, it's not that I wouldn't make this effort for another band. This is my favorite band, but it's also the time that people dedicate to being ultra fans of multiple things. I just don't have that. I mean, I can go to other shows and things, but I'm not dropping the kind of money for VIP background or like backstage stuff. Like there's really two bands that I would consider to be like my favorites, and one of them is Journey, just because they've always been there. One of my design clients is a friend of the band, so every once in a while I can get tickets that way. And I've had some backstage opportunities to meet the band there too, but busy, expensive. So this is really the only time that I indulge. I indulge myself in this practice. It's kind of nice to see, like every time I show up there, there's something different for them to sign, and it's cool to see their faces. Like, man, the U.S. fan base may not be super vast, but it is rabid. Um, and I guess I'll just take this opportunity to evangelize a little bit. Um, there's a lot of music out there. There's a lot of auto tuning. There's a lot of crap. You know, everything that you used to love about like real music and classic rock, or and I wouldn't call this classic rock by any stretch. It's good rock and roll. I wouldn't say that it spans genres. Um, but it does. This band's music does explore a lot of different sounds. Without losing its core. You can tell who's playing it. You can tell who's singing it. That kind of thing. Let's see. I might end up putting a drop shadow on this anyways, because there's some gold peeking out in places I don't like. If you're looking for some music that after maybe 3 or 4 listens, because good bands, it takes a while. Something that you hear on the radio, I've found in my experience, you hear something on the radio that you like, and that's fine. You like that song, you get that album. There's another maybe 2 or 3 good tracks on it, but the stuff that when you listen to it like maybe 4 times and you really finally understand where they're coming from creatively and musically, like lyrics and music. And I call it that it's very honest. Any music that I really like that I don't um, shut up about, I would consider honest music. There's a couple of albums by people that I like that are I would consider honest music, and then there's um, a whole band, where it's no matter who's in it, it sounds like they're all in agreement. It sounds like um, I don't want to say they understand the rules, but they get each other and they're having a good time. It's a really good account to follow if you want to see what it's like up there. Look up. I'm gonna get this wrong. 40 Deuce. I believe it's spelled out Forty. How do you spell Deuce? Deuce? And anyways, that is Sekou Lumumba, the drummer's Instagram account. The previous drummer, very, very good. Chuck Keeping, actually got to meet him a couple of times. Ran into him in the hallway. The one year I took my daughter to see them in Buffalo and ran into him in the hotel that we were staying at. I don't want to go too far with this, but here we go. Ran into him in the hotel that we were staying at. I need a mall stick. Because his sister was in town, so they were like visiting. Come on. Yeah. This is a mall stick. MAHL. So, anyways, we ran into him, and I ran into him and then asked him if he could come back to the room. It was just down the hall. To come back to the room and say hi. I couldn't go back there like my daughter and go, hey, guess what? I ran into the drummer. Um, there was a show in was it Pittsburgh? I think it was like their last Pittsburgh, the last show that they had on the one tour that they were on in Pittsburgh, and he threw out his drumstick, and I managed to catch it, and I gave it to my daughter, so that was special. Um, anyways, where was I going with this? Sekou is the guy that he used to play with when it was Thornley, and then I think over COVID, um, Chuck Keeping ducked out, and when they got things back together again, they had Sekou as the drummer, and even though they're I wouldn't say vastly different, I feel like Chuck Keeping is more of a technical, and Sekou is much more creative on the fly. He fits beats into places that I didn't know they could go, and they make sense to me. And he's also like the kind of the happy, smiley, jovial. I mean, they're all seem to be mentally well adjusted guys, but Sekou just seems to like he's just so happy to be there. And yeah, I think this is gonna work out. I love these John King lettering brushes. They are just. I had a couple of them that were losing hair, but for the most part, it's a real smooth stroke, great control, and you should check them out if you're inclined. Yeah, so my light's coming from the top left. Anyways, 40 Deuce on Instagram. Check out his channel. He sets a camera up That's something that Chuck never really did. Didn't mess with that. So you can see kind of right over his shoulder. You can see him playing, and you can see the crowd, and you can hear Ian, screaming and playing, and everybody playing out there. So yeah, it's going to be a good time, I think. And the nice thing is, like, whenever we go, we try to get. There's this one. You want to talk about smart? There's this one Holiday Inn Express right there that is. It's right in downtown. It's right above. It's like a block away. You go to you get your room, you check in, and then you just, walk down the block, and there's the venue. You don't have to worry about driving anywhere. You have no traffic, nothing. It's just a great setup. Um, I am not a huge I like to go places type person. Some people are. I am not among them. So if I can get to a place like that and have it be like no hassle, or least amount of hassle possible, then sign me up. The drive isn't terrible, um, but I'm looking forward to. We're gonna get into town early, and then we're gonna go and get to this old comic book shop. One of these days, I'm gonna have to, when we get enough audience members to listen, I'm gonna have to tell the story of how it's an absolute miracle that I do have any kind of interest in comic books and arts. I wouldn't say miracle, but my interest in because a lot of this channel revolves around me creating a comic book and supporting independent comics. Sometimes I'll restream from a live that I'm on, that I've been graciously invited to, and try to promote independent comics. Let me see if my phone went blank. Squaw Bob, yes, this is a logo. You'd have to pay for premium to post on X. I'm trying to see if oh, there we go. I can see it. This post is. Thanks, Leo. I appreciate that. Yeah, aluminum, and I was working with white gold, but that stuff would be like way stickier. The thing with with aluminum is it is a composite leaf. So the glue that you put down, you can apply the leaf earlier. You have to wait. You put the glue down and then you wait for it to get to a certain tackiness. And with regular gold, you wait longer because it's much more delicate. With aluminum, you don't have to wait as long because it's like tearing very, very thin foil, but it's still tougher than an actual gold. Yeah, hashtag Big Rec. Now, Mandy Summers knows who these guys are, and Ravine Reckoning knows who these guys are, and Jimmy Betbuck, he knows who these guys are. So hopefully we might see some interaction from those cats. Not a lot. Their presence on Twitter isn't massive. They're mostly, Facebook group. There's that Jimmy Betbuck runs on Facebook. Great Facebook group. And let me get this in here. Yeah. Now the original logo of this that they've been using, it looks like it's the original. This is the logo that I scratched out on a napkin, somewhat with some detail. I don't know who created the original, but in order for me to do this, I had to clean it up in Illustrator. In fact, there is a video. There's a guitar shape that I brought to have signed. And that was a serious case of I didn't have time to paint and do all this. So if you guys sign it first, then I'll do the artwork later and design around it. And that is in my daughter's house. I gave that to her. But there's another video on creating that, pinstriping it and doing the gold leaf and stuff. Phew, man, some of these. I wonder. I should be able to see all of the. Oh, I see here. Is this not playing? Yeah, there we go. Do they cover any Jimmy Buffett? No, I do not believe they do. I have heard. Okay, now when Rush was commissioning, I don't know if that's the right word, but other bands in Canada were doing covers, and I think it was like a whole, um, a whole album from different bands. And Big Wreck was tapped to do "Closer to the Heart," and it is one of those. I'm not going to say it's. Let me put it this way, and you all know this is true. That there are covers of songs out there that are, you know, given the fact that they are covers, and you can't have the cover without the original. That the cover is better than the original song. I don't know that I'm going to go that far purely out of respect for a band like Rush, but it is really good. If you get onto YouTube and listen, or Spotify, I think they would have it on there too, and listen to Big Rex version of "Closer to the Heart." Um, that's different. It's definitely them, but it's a great version. Now I have, and this is one of the reasons why I would like to try more on Rumbles, because they're a lot better with the the copyright stuff. I mean, from a fair use standpoint, you can have a watch party and not have to worry about your stream being taken down. It's their ideas of what transformative is a lot more lax and leaning towards video, you know streaming and YouTubers, and what do you want to call them, these Rumble people. But I mean, so far it seems to be working okay. I don't see it. It's not crashing. It's not giving me a hard time with a small curve in the beginning of like, how do I get this video to actually show up? Because all of those options for layouts and stuff was at the top of the screen, and I had not scrolled. Far enough to see it. Um, that aside, this seems like a much better, and this first time using it, a much better alternative to an expensive StreamYards account or a complicated Streamlabs account. What can I say? Now I don't know what the limitation is on people coming into the room, but let's be honest. I don't have that many friends, and I'm not asking for that many. That being said, so far so good. Full disclosure, I don't know what I was thinking when I bought them, and who knows, maybe I'll be a millionaire one day. But I have 3 shares of Rumble, like just three. Like we'll start there. We'll see what they do. Start small. Support what you love. Support what you believe in. Yuck. I got a blowout on that one. Yes, this is a paint pusher. This is an eraser. This is how you fix your mistakes. I mean, almost mistakes. Okay, now I don't know if I got all my areas here, so I'm just going to double check and make sure that all my drop shadows are where they're supposed to be. Like up here, I need a little bit there. Could be more accurate on that. Anyways, back to the covers thing. What do we got here? Too high and squeaky for. Yeah. You know what? That's the What is that? Is that rubber? Plastic? There's little feet on the bottom moving across my cutting mat. Sorry. Oh, now, are you talking about Too High and Squeaky, or are you actually trying to listen to the cover of Closer to the Heart and you're seeing that? Oh, Geddy Lee is. Sorry, Squab. I totally misread that. Yeah, I guess. I think that might be one of the reasons why they're you might consider them a an acquired taste. To your point, though, I would say if there's going to be something about Geddy Lee's voice, I like that he can sing high, but he doesn't have squeaky. I can't believe I misinterpreted that. Um, he doesn't have a lot of range. In other words, there's no deep tones, and he doesn't have to be a bass, to be an effective singer. But and tell me what you think of this, because I think that this is a thing, that there are vocalists and there are singers. For instance, you are not going to listen to the Deftones and hear any other voice besides, and I can't remember, I don't know what the guy's name is, but it's either whispery or purposefully, or he's screaming. He's got um, that dichotomy at work, which makes that's part of the band's sound. But that guy is not a singer. Perfect example: Rage Against the Machine, vocalist. Okay, swap that guy out for Chris Cornell, and you have Audio Slave, singer. Chris Cornell, singer. What's his face? I don't even listen to that band. Not a fan, really. Um, Vocalist versus singer. Ian Thornley is a singer. Steve Perry is a singer. I don't even consider, even though I think Higher Ground, covered by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, is a far superior version than the Stevie Wonder version. Um, Anthony Kiedis does not strike me as singer. He comes off. I don't actually know. I can't do it. I mean, there's too much flat and sharp, and Okay, so when it gets to Geddy Lee, one of the things, and this is also something where I can't handle Stevie Nicks, even though I would consider her a singer, the vibrato is just way too rapid. Yeah, his voice could make Martians explode. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think I heard that that Steve Perry was able to shatter glass at one point. But that could just be like, urban legend type stuff, you know. Okay, Shadow. Just gotta tear this up so I can see what I'm doing. See what I'm looking at. I think I got them all. Squab, man, you are for as inconsistent as I am. Johnny Cash range, yeah. Well, um, what was I just hearing the other day? Was Johnny Cash, and it was one of those covers, one of those really awesome covers that he did, and it wasn't Hurt, wasn't Rusty Cage. I mean, it was like just minutes ago. It's on the tip of my brain. Heart of Gold. It was another pinstriper sign maker out of London, England, I think, and um, she was doing a sign on it that said "A Heart of Gold," and that was the music in the background. And I didn't know that he had covered that. In fact, that's probably a record I need to get where he does like Rusty Cage, Hurt, excuse me, and all that. Yeah, I don't know that I need to outline this out here. This stuff around the outside looks pretty sharp to me. Yeah, so I got the text, I got the chat overlay working, and I need to move on to other stuff. Like I need to have this pickup truck art prepped. I need to have this pattern. I have to path it out in Illustrator, print it out on paper, and then electro pounce it so that I can lay it up, slap it up on that truck, and get to town. This is right now is a luxury activity, and I thought I would kill two birds with one stone by streaming about it. And how long have I been going? I don't know, man. I don't. It may be. It see. So the Rumble stream seems to be working great, and if it is as effective as I would like it to be and hope it would be, I don't know why more people aren't using it. Considering that, for all intent, I don't believe. I mean, I'm not paying for this. It's just a Rumble account. I think you sign up for it and it works. And that alone should be raising the value of Rumble as an alternative to YouTube. I know YouTube has this function built in, but I don't know that it has all the bells and whistles. Otherwise, I would see more people using that too. But maybe it's just the circles, the digital circles that I run in, and that's why I'm not seeing it. I like it so far, and I'm going to try it again later at some other point with guests, and I'm going to have to make sure that you are one of them, Squaw Bob, because you've been there from the beginning. But until that happens, I'm gonna leave this to rest so that it's dry for tomorrow. I don't know if I have the time. I might get some other decoration, but there's four guys in the band. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where you sign, and yeah, we'll see. I'll get a good image of it up there whenever I get back. Throw the CDs in there, and everybody can see, the VIP passes and the tickets, and like here, there's two of them right here. This was 2019, 2018. Just put those tickets right in there. Uh, and then Bob's Your Uncle. Actually, I'm going to leave these out until I get back. All right. Tickets are all digital now too. Like, if there's a paper copy that we get at the door, I'll have to hold on to those. But until next time, I'm going to end this. Squaw Bob, amazing. Thanks for showing up. And yeah, YouTube. Before I saw that, and I believe that if you can see it up on the screen, that's one of the cool things about Rumble. And again, it's not because if I'm no genius and other platforms do this, I'm not aware of it. In Rumble Studio, it's showing me if somebody is chatting on X, if they're chatting on any one of the other ones, they just come up. I don't know if they come up as different colors or if you're doing that, but you can see who's chatting from where. It looks like. Um, yeah, like Swell Bob is on both. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm gonna need it too because it's gonna be right across the street from where I work. It's gonna be leave from the house, paint on the truck, go to work, go paint on the truck, go home until it's done. And yeah, I look forward to showing it off. Thanks again for showing up, buddy. I'm gonna end this and get to work on something else.